If you want to publish a book, but you feel stuck, out of time, and you don't know what to do next, then it's time to finish the damn book. Here's your host, Suzie Schaefer.
Hi, I'm Suzie Schaefer, host of Finish the Damn Book podcast. You're going to hear from authors, experts in the industry, and a plethora of people who are going to help us get you to finish the damn book. I can remember after my divorce, I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I was working 5 jobs at the time when a good friend of mine said, "Hey, would you like to learn the publishing industry?" Well, I jumped at the chance. And so that was the start of everything that you see here. Finish the book publishing. I can remember my first client. He was a gentleman who was retired and had a chronic illness, and he wanted to publish his book before he passed away. He was great to work with because he just allowed me to guide him through the process. And it was amazing to see him hold his book in his hands before his illness took his life. I think one of the most important things for authors that are older is that they want to leave a legacy for their children and their grandchildren. And I have the ability to do that and help them through that process, which is really an honor. In addition, I work with authors who are speakers and have their own podcasts, and they are creating a brand, something that's really new and exciting. So you can see that I work with a lot of different people from a range of backgrounds. In particular, I work with veterans. Many veterans have stories of being in the service, having PTSD, and a lifelong of challenges. And it gives me a lot of honor and gratitude to support those people. In every episode, you're going to learn about what the emotional challenges were for the author to finish their book. You're also going to learn about their author journey. What changed over the process of them writing and publishing their book? And of course, we're going to get a little bit into the spiritual side of things and the outcomes for each one of the authors. In addition, you're also going to hear from people within the industry with tips on how to develop a great writing practice, what makes a great cover design, and things that are going to help you move your book forward. What you're going to get from this show is really learning from the authors themselves. What was it like? What were the challenges that they faced? What was the journey that they went on while writing and publishing their book? In addition, you're also going to hear from editors, book designers, and people within the industry that are going to help you by giving you tips and things to learn about publishing your book. Within the episodes of this show, you're going to hear from world-class experts in the publishing industry, and they're going to give you all kinds of tips, ideas, and ways that you can finish your book. In addition, you'll hear from authors, their own experiences, and what it was like to go through writing and finishing their book, so that you know that you've got the support you need to finish the damn book. Some of the most common problems that people have when they're trying to finish their book is procrastination, not feeling worthy, and just being busy in life. And the episodes in this podcast are going to help you unravel that and figure out, where am I stuck? What's keeping me from finishing the book? Once you listen to some of these podcasts and you learn from authors themselves how they broke through that and how they overcame that, it's going to light a fire under you so that you're going to be ready to keep on writing. When you're listening to some of these episodes, the book industry has changed a lot over the last 25 years. I can remember when ebooks first came out and everybody was saying, "Oh, there's never going to be another book in a library again." And that just wasn't the case. As we've seen, Amazon has become the biggest bookseller in the world, bigger than all the others. And now we have the opportunity for authors to independently publish. This has changed the game for everybody. You no longer have to go after a traditional publisher, get an agent or a literary agent or publishing agent. You can actually do it yourself. But a lot of people find that they need just a little bit of support and guidance to make sure that they do it right the first time. Decades ago, you used to have to go after a traditional publisher, submit your manuscript, hope to get picked up, and Today, it's completely different. You have the opportunity to independently publish your book, and not just a physical book. You can do an ebook, an audio book, put it on multiple platforms, and actually have awesome distribution, all just with the click of a button. As technology changes, we have to be ready for anything that comes our way. That's why, by listening to these episodes, we're going to give you everything you need to be ready for changing technology, industry changes, and things that you need to know so that you can apply that to your book. We're going to talk about all kinds of topics, from technology to AI to ethics and publishing, and so much more. Tune into all of the episodes to get what you need so that you are ready for what's coming next. After doing multiple workshops, speaking with groups, and doing training sessions, I realized that not everybody could come and listen to the things that I had learned in the publishing industry. That's why I decided to start Finish the Damn Book podcast, because this way it's accessible to everybody with just the click of a button. Some people have asked me, why now? Well, there's no time better than the present. With everything that's going on in the world, this is the best time to really sit down and think about, what am I leaving as my legacy? So when these episodes cross your path, tune in, listen to the authors, listen to the experts, because they're going to give you the inspiration you need to finish the damn book. So whether you've been stuck just putting it off, or you're just needing a little bit of support, be sure to subscribe so that you can get every episode of Finish the Damn Book. Sometimes I get asked why I love doing the work I do. When an author calls me in excitement to tell me that she's won a first place book award, or when I learn about the pain, abuse, and trauma from an author's past and how writing a book helped them heal, that's why I do what I do. Spiritually speaking, I've always known that I can harness the gift of healing. And when you take passion and turn it into serving others, it becomes a deeply humbling endeavor. Just yesterday, I learned the depth of an author's PTSD, and it rocked me to my core. But in publishing, much like the movies, there can be a silver lining, especially when it comes to sharing your story with the world and not caring what people think. That's the magic, the special sauce that keeps me going. When people say, nobody's going to care about my story, and I say, trust me, they will care. In the episodes of Finish the Damn Book podcast, you'll hear from authors themselves, what they've learned, how life is different after publishing, and industry experts that talk about their role in the process. And of course, as a book doula, we'll get a little woo-woo along the way. We'll deep dive and maybe even pull some cards to see what guidance the universe has for our listeners. Until then, keep on writing. And don't forget, every week, one lucky listener who subscribes and posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance for the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 private VIP day with me personally. So be sure to subscribe, post a review, and join me next time. Common problems that I see authors have is perfectionism and self-doubt. It's really more common than you think. We're going to delve into that in one of my upcoming episodes to really figure out, why is it that people feel that they have to have it perfect the first time, when really that's what editors are for. So join me and watch for that episode to come up soon to talk about perfectionism, how to overcome it, and get rid of that self-doubt. I hear from a lot of people who say, I just don't have time to write my book, but yet they want to. And it comes down to possibly poor time management, or even maybe not having the right support and structure with writing your book. Sometimes it's really easy. You just need someone to give you that support, give you a practice, hold you accountable for it. And then that leads you to doing a little bit every day so that you can finish your book. Do you remember back in school, we were taught to create an outline before we wrote our essays? Well, I have a different take on that. Instead of having an outline or a clear structure or even a map to do your book, what if we reverse engineered that? What if we turned that on its head and created something different, something that was easy for you, something that you could fit into your daily lifestyle? We're going to talk about that on one of our episodes too, so stay tuned. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, should I use a pen name? Now, I understand if you have a fear of exposure or being seen or judged by somebody, whether it's your family, friends, your circle. It's a very real thing. But my thought is you only want to use a pen name if you're doing fiction. And we'll talk more about that later. If you're actually looking at creating a brand, stepping out into the spotlight and creating a platform, then yeah, you want to use your own name. And I'll give you steps to get rid of that self-doubt so that you can step into the spotlight. There's something that's very real that happens to authors during the process, and it's called author exhaustion. It's when you have burnout, loss of motivation, or really feel like you just can't keep going with your book. Well, I'm going to just demystify all of that for you. We're going to break it down and figure out why that's happening, what's going on. Is it distractions? Are you stuck? Do you need an editor? Who knows? But listening to these episodes is really going to help you figure out how to light that fire and get moving again so that you can overcome that author exhaustion. One of the best ways to overcome getting stuck with your book is to have an accountability partner. This generally can come in the form of an editor who is going to look at your chapters, give you some feedback, and let you work on those while they're working on the next set. This is really one of the best ways that you can overcome burnout, being stuck, and keep your book moving forward. If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. People are just so afraid of being seen or being the expert. It's called imposter syndrome, and it's very real. When you're writing your book, one of the things that we're going to do is really show yourself in the mirror how you are the expert in your industry. That's really what writing the book is all about. And of course, how it connects to your brand, your mission, your purpose, and all those good things. Publishing a book can feel like overwhelm. And especially when we're talking about the technology that goes along with it, this is why you need a team to support you. Publishing does not happen just on your own. You've got to have the right people in place so that you can let go of the overwhelm, understand the technology, and learn as you go. Let me ask you a question. Did you find this podcast because you're feeling overwhelmed and you really do want to finish the book, but you don't know where to start? Stick with me. In each of these episodes, you're going to learn tools and things that are going to help you finish your book and overcome the overwhelm of publishing.
So that's it for today's episode of Finish the Damn Book. Head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 value private VIP day with Susan herself. Head on over to finishthedamnbookpodcast.com and pick up a free copy of Susan's gift. And join us on the next episode.